the soft policing of the Black Lives Matter protests. The impression of two-tier policing has become widespread. The Prime Minister's faltering attempts to address the current crisis have only added to that same sense of injustice. Angela Jenkins, you had him on your campaign literature during the election. Do you agree with him on this?
Well, I do believe it's a two-tier policing system.
Why?
Why? I'll give examples. Nigel mentioned the BLM. In Leeds, police were stood around when our beautiful Queen Victoria statue was being damaged, and how did the Labour Council deal with it? Oh, they decided to put it out to tender to see if our statues need taking down, rather than actually contacting.
Can you? Burning a hotel with the silent figures in it.
Can I just say, the way you suggested that? I mean, look, it's abhorrent what's happened today, and seeing about hotels. You know, I'm a mum. I don't want anybody being hurt, actually, from whatever community. So let me say that firstly. But I think it actually demonstrates people's attitudes. Forgive me, Kate, but when I said about the health secretary saying about throwing somebody under a train, you said, but that hasn't led to violence on the streets. But does that make it right, Kate? What's the difference between Nigel saying that and him saying, the health secretary, about saying throwing a Daily Mail journalist under a train? I'm asking you, Kate.
Well, I suppose, Katie, I suppose, Del Babu, you would know, would you? What is the reality? Are groups treated differently?
Katie, I'm just shocked that Andrea talks like that. It is just, you know, I'm just flabbergasted. If I just respond to you, please.
Yes, of course.
I mean, it is just absolute, with all due respect, it's just unbelievable that you're comparing somebody putting a bit of paint on a statue with somebody trying to attack.
No, I'm actually talking about the health secretary.
Well, I'm talking about both issues, and I'm afraid there is not even a definition of Islamophobia. Right? Your government refused to have a definition of Islamophobia. You had if you let me finish.
No, and I'll ask you a question.
Yeah,
I'm quite interested.
Well, please do let me finish.
Yes, of course.
Your government has focused on anti-Semitism, and quite rightly, it's wrong. Right? There's a definition for anti-Semitism, but your government refused time after time after time to even have a definition of Islamophobia. And what we've seen, what's playing out now, is all the rhetoric, all the hate from people like Suella Braverman, from Nigel Farage, all of that. Suella Braverman said, she says the police have favoured marches, demonstrations, more on right wing. They focus more on the right wing than on the left wing. We can see what the right wing are doing now.
What about Hare Hills? Why? I mean, I was a Leeds MP up until recently. Why in Hare Hills did the police not act and arrest the Romani?
Hare Hills was a thing that happened recently.
Yes, and you know, there was burning buses. Community. So you say about the statues, but there was burning buses. You know, I had former constituents contact me because they've got friends who are living there. They did not burn a bus.
No, you're saying they didn't act. They didn't act. That's not true.
But they acted at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, Andrea, they're doing exactly the same now. They are not making the 400 odd arrests. Haven't happened straight away.
No,
because the police haven't.
They need to.
And in Leeds, they couldn't do it straight away. They had to get the resources in place, and then they acted very robustly, quite rightly, against the people who perpetrated that. So I think.
But we need to tackle it and instantly.
That is absolutely right. We have a system in this country, and Keir made this point today when he was asked this question, this ridiculous conspiracy theory that's being spread by Farage and others, typical, you know, dog whistle stuff, that there's some kind of two-tier policing system. He said, the police in this country police without fear or favour. The problem has been politicians' rhetoric, and that's been the problem, and the failure to tackle some of the underlying causes that have led to this. And, you know, I think what we're seeing now is a very good response from the police. It's been very fast. The courts are working around the clock. Those are the people we should be supporting in this context, and not listening to blowhards like Nigel Farage.
Has the government been too slow on this, though? Shadow Home Secretary James Cleverly says Cobra should have been recalled earlier.
No, I mean, most of the violence has happened in the last 3 or 4 days. The fact that Cobra didn't meet till today did not stop the police mounting a very credible and effective response. And I remember not so long ago when we had COVID, we had to wait 3, 4, 5 weeks for Boris Johnson to hold a COBRA meeting. So COBRA is useful in circumstances, but not at the beginning of a crisis. You want COBRA to meet to bring all the strands together when things need coordinating. But I think the way that this has been sequenced by the government has been absolutely spot on.
Andrew, you think COBRA should have been with?
Yes, I mean, it's over a week now since the beautiful children got murdered. I would like to have seen a meeting of COBRA immediately.
I think, to be honest, the absolute priority has got to be to ensure order on the street.
Yes,
It's got to
I
be
agree,
the
that's
absolute
a
priority. I think that there's a lot of noise about recalling Parliament, COBRA meetings. That they're neither here or there. Ultimately, this is all about ensuring that the police have the resources, and in addition to that, having the CPS working and the courts available, so the people who are arrested can be quickly brought to justice and then understand the consequences if they go out, whether they do it, whether they're tweeting or whether they're physically out there, attacking police officers. It's horrific to see the level of violence. And some of these men, they're largely men, have targeted police women.
Again, and we're going to see more, we hope. Well, we believe the police officers are saying, the National Police Chief Council are saying there will be more arrests, more charges over the coming days. So we'll be